Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. World Cup content continues on FC26 with Path to Glory Team number 2. We got everything yesterday, from a glitched objective that EA is now going to have to compensate people for, to an SBC that shows EA no ball, and they like to have a little bit of fun. But I want to turn our attention towards today and the rest of this weekend's content, where we have a pack that I think just about everybody is going to open because of evolutions. Now, of course, we've got huge SBCs like that end of an era Putellas that are still leaked as well, and all sorts of World Cup cards coming to this game, upgrades and new types of cards. We're going to talk about it all today, guys. If you're excited for it, drop a thumbs up with the video, hype the video, and subscribe if you are new. Now, let's get things started as we always do by looking back over yesterday's content on Friday, which I would have loved to preview with you guys in a video, but we missed yesterday's video, unfortunately, because of weather situations knocking out the internet here at the house. So hopefully everything's good. Weather's nice outside. Shouldn't have that problem. That was the first time we had that problem in a long time, but everything's good. So that is why there was no video yesterday, as some of you guys saw on Twitter and the other YouTube posts that we made. But yesterday's content, the best part of content, is here in objectives. The Journey of Nations Week 2 with the Al O'Wayran objective and all of the great rewards that are inside of this once again. As you can see, I've got a great start on this objective, and I'm going to show you guys the quickest way to get it done, because you can, just like we did with Hugo Sanchez, really combine a whole lot of this together to make it way quicker to complete. But this card for Al O'Wayran is, of course, 99 pace, 4-star, 4-star. He can play cam, left, mid, right wing, and striker. He's got great play styles. And again, that's just a fantastic card. As of course, we are on our way to the Maradona. This is week 2 of this Journey of Nations completionist objective. Of course, once you get Al O'Wayran, you play one match with him, you will get 2 of 5 unlocks towards Maradona there. Now, this is the tweet that I have been using. Footwiz, once again, dropping a nice tutorial here on how to play this out the right way. It should only take you about 12 games. It's taking me a bit longer than that, but I've got a lot of progress, and there's 2 specific game modes that I think help a lot with getting this done super quick. You start off by playing 6 games in live events with 6 Japanese players, assisting 2 goals in all 6 matches, winning 3 of them, and scoring 1 chip. Now, the game mode that I was playing that in is the leftover Path to Glory exclamation mark game mode that is 1st to 2. Now, it's a bit difficult because you actually need to basically win all 6 of those matches if you're going to play in this mode, because if you're going to assist 2 goals in a single match, it's a 1st to 2 mode, so that means you're scoring 2 goals and you're winning. So that made it a little more difficult there. If you don't want to do that mode, I would do the Season 8 exhibition mode, which is 1st to 3, limited number of games per day. But other than that, if you don't do a live event or rivals or something like that, you're going to have to play world-class squad battles. So I would recommend doing that in one of those 2 live events. It just might take you a few extra games, just because that is a 1st to 2 game mode, and you may not win that, and you may not get to assist with those Japanese players in those games. But that is decently easy to get done. And the next set of games is really easy, because if you go into the objectives and you look at the finite details of some of these specific things, and you're like the New Zealand objective, right? That's 1 New Zealander in this squad of 4 Australians, including Tim Cahill, 4 Koreans, 1 New Zealander, 1 Qatar or Uzbekistan player, and 1 Saudi Arabian player. All you have to do in here is get this objective done in any game mode. So you can play the second set of 6 games on beginner difficulty squad battles, and that is fantastic to get the rest of these objectives done. So make sure you give this tweet a bookmark. There's a couple of other tweets out there as well. Chem Expert on Twitter is another guy you can look up. He's got a great tutorial on how to get this done. But that is the new objective in here for the Al O'Wayran and everything that comes inside of it. Now, I do want to highlight a couple of rewards. There are some banger Evos inside of here. I've already claimed one of them, but for getting the Tim Cahill here, you get a nice Evo called, I think it's called like Tiny Tim. It's a really good evolution there, and as we know, the Evo that is inside of this Asia and Oceania objective, which is called the Continental Cannon, is a huge, huge shooting boost, which is really, really good as well. That Tiny Tim Evo is actually the one that was leaked a couple days ago that gives the left mid and right mid position and is a decent boost for Neymar. So very solid Evos inside of there. Now, you guys might be like, Nate, you're missing the big point of this whole objective, the biggest news about it. Kind of, but EA just mentioned it is messed up. Now, it was messed up. That's the best way to say it, because people were claiming the rewards from this objective and they were just not showing up in their club. EA here with the very obvious fix, restarting FC26 should resolve this issue. So this was tweeted about 4 hours after content. So they must have fixed something in the game to correct the issue with the objectives not being claimable. What the problem was, so many of you guys had already claimed the objectives and the players and the packs and the evos, and you didn't get them. So they said players who did not receive the correct rewards will be contacted at a later date with the appropriate content. So of course, you know, it's probably going to take a while, at least a few days, maybe a week. And that's of course a bummer with the good evos and the players and the packs that are inside of there. So it is very, very worth playing this. But if you are missing out on some of your rewards there, I mean, EA, why are these things broken? That's 2 weeks in a row now. First, Hugo Sanchez was broken for the group reward on the Maradona completionist side. And now this whole objective set is broken when you're trying to claim the reward. So it's like EA dropped nice things and content that we like, but then there's always like this, there's always something that's messed up with it, you know what I'm saying? Now, with this, we got some market movements. We've got Kusanov and Uzbekistan players going crazy in price. I tweeted out yesterday a screenshot of this card going up from 60,000 coins to 90K, saying you don't even need this card to complete the objective, which is true, because they give you an Uzbekistan player for literally conceding no more than 3 goals in one match. So you go into that 1-2 mode, score 2 own goals, game's over, and you get a Uzbekistan player straight into your club. That's how I got one instead of having to use Kusanov. But check your clubs, okay? Because there are plenty of players like Uzbekistan players that are selling on the market because people don't realize that it is that easy to get one of those players. 5,000 coins right now for Uzbekistan players. Somebody messed up there. But check your club. I mean, there's not a whole lot of other silvers that are selling for this. I think a couple of other nationalities. Right at content, I was able to sell a couple of New Zealand and Australia silvers here for about 1.8K, 1.4K there. But really, they're not selling for too much now. So that is one thing that I did want to mention with that objective there. Now, really quickly, the rest of objectives does give us a few more tokens. Yesterday's content in the campaign tab gave us a Path to Glory Week 2 objective, which gives us, I think, a total of 65 tokens. That's pretty easy to get done. And then live events, we have the Journey of Nations, Asia and South Africa, or sorry, Asia and Oceania, which doesn't give a whole lot of good rewards. But since we're talking about tokens, we got to go to the token store because that was also a big part of content yesterday. EA refreshed some of the rewards inside of here. Now, some of the rewards are exactly the same, but De Aris Kaeta, Sao, and Mane are our new players in the Festival Football Token Store, and I'll say it, that Sadio Mane card for only 100 tokens, I know he doesn't have 5-star skills, but that is a great card for only 100 tokens. Of course, live for Senegal as well. They've got a bit of a tough group, but, I mean, they could do something crazy, right? And this Mane card, he's always good in game, so that's not a bad price for 100 tokens there. I don't think they added too much else in here in the store. All of these packs were already there, but they did finally add back the 2,000 token main event Evo, but that's the thing. They didn't add back the 500 token gold standard evolution that a lot of people were also looking forward to. So question marks still around that evolution because we do not know where it is going to be because it was not re-added yesterday. There must have been a problem with that one. EA fixed this one here and did not fix the other one. I did notice, or somebody mentioned in chat, I didn't notice it actually, can't take the credit for it, that one of the stat boost inside of this Evo was changed. Ball control goes up to 96 now instead of 94. So I don't know if there were any other changes from what this Evo was first released at and what it is released at now, but it still does look like it's boosting players up to 97 pace, 97 shooting, and the same stats that we had before. Now, real quick, let's look at the Champs token store since we are here. They added in 3 pretty good looking players here for the red rewards. We've got a 99 pace Madueke, a crazy looking Akaliush, and a decent looking Kim Min-jae there. So those are fully customizable with playstyle pluses. If you have 600 champs points, then you can redeem those. Those will be out for only 1 week for this weekend's rewards only. And then I think most of the packs inside, if you're just refreshed for Team 2, you have the 93 plus 3 of 12 PTG pick. A lot of people really got some good pulls from this one. Even yesterday, people saved their champs rewards to open for Team 2 and got some really good ones there. There's a 6-player pack guaranteed, which actually is a little misleading by the title of the pack. If you want something to make you coins with the new promo cards that are in packs, there's a 93 plus 2 of 7 pick with 4 Path to Glory Team 2 players inside of it. So 750 tokens. If you get that many from champs, that would be your chance to make as many coins from the promo team if possible, if you were to hit a big player like Florian Wirtz, like Jude Bellingham, or something like that. So that's that part of content. Let's keep it moving because we got a lot to discuss by going to Evos. We had the Max 91 center back Evo called Hold the Fort, and it gives, of course, that is the National Pride card design that then you can customize the Playstyle Pluses on, which is a bit odd because you're getting Playstyle Pluses and Playstyles through this Evo. But I guess it would be helpful for, let's say, somebody who is going to have less than 8 base Playstyles, or you want to customize other playstyles on top of what you already get. I mean, it's not a crazy thing, but maybe it's going to be helpful down the line for something else. Like maybe this Dante having this National Pride card design will be helpful in the future for like some sort of live event or just a requirement of using that card design. I'm not sure. But this Evo is really creating center backs that have a lot of pace, because you can put center backs in it that already have a lot of pace. Like my Mickey Van de Ven Evo here. Probably a lot of you guys have Mickey Van de Ven Evos that if he's 91 rated, he's fitting into this because there is no pace maximum. And once again, it is nice to see that it is allowing 3 Playstyle Plus cards into this one. You're basically going up to 95 defense and 95 physical for 75,000 coins with some other small boosts in there too. Bombito, Maldini, Van de Ven, and then a couple of VVD Evo chains I've seen are some of the most popular cards coming in through that one. Now, that wasn't the only Evo we had yesterday, though. We did have a free one called Go On Sun. It's a max 90 Evo that also allows 3 Playstyle Plus players in it, but it boosts the overall +1, and it gives some shooting stats. It gives the Finesse Plus and the Low Driven Shot Plus. Playstyles gives a 5-star weak foot, and 95 finishing, 94 attack positioning, long shots, volleys, penalties. It is not terrible. It does boost the overall +1. Maybe that's a part of your Neymar chain, though, after putting him into Evos through objectives. Those objective Evos do go really good on Neymar. I'm going to have to see what Playstyle Pluses I want on him to really decide. I'm still in the middle of that, but going to have to use the FutBin Evo Builder and look at all the new Evos in there to try things out. Now, let's go to SBCs, where we did have Pedro Neto. And I'll be honest, like, this is a meta card, but I think the price is a little bit on the meta side too. It's coming in at 465,000 coins for this Pedro Neto. And not having 5-star weak foot would maybe be the thing that would take people away from doing this. Like, also, on the other hand, he's super meta. Press proven. He's got Trickster, all the ball control play styles. He's got the pinged, the finesse, and the quick style. Like, he's going to be good. And if you back Portugal, then this is an SBC that you do want to do. It's just a little bit too much, I think, that we have a 91 rated squad in here. I mean, he's 65% downvoted on FutBin. So I think people are doing this because Pedro Neto is OP, and maybe they want to back Portugal, but I also think it's a bit too expensive, and for some of the other PTG cards that we've had released via SBC, this one does seem to be a bit steep in price. Now, the good thing is, you can wait and see how Portugal perform in their first, at least, maybe first and second World Cup match, because he's out for 2 weeks in total, so that is cool. The other player SBC that we had yesterday was the WEA SBC yesterday, and that was Tim Payne. EA kind of going with the hype online of Tim Payne being the least followed footballer playing in the World Cup, now being a huge following on social media after that whole thing blew up. But that's just W content. So he's a National Pride card. I put Playstyle Pluses on him for how I was going to use him in the game. Going to run him at right back for the Weekend League just because, why not? He's not the most meta card ever, but it's just cool. And he's super duper cheap. It's like, what, an 88 rated squad to get the Tim Payne card done. So that is just fun content from EA. Geez. Now, moving on to like some of the upgrade packs and other content that we got. We got a 91 plus TOTS Summer Nations or UEFA Winners player pick. I see this as maybe a way to get a Team of the Season card, but unfortunately, it's a little more expensive than just like a TOTS upgrade because it does have the UEFA Winners in it. And man, it's a 91 plus TOTS pick. The chances of you getting a Team of the Season are like 99%, and a UEFA Winners card, like a Road to the Final, like less than 1% with rounding or whatever. So it's 3 times repeatable every 2 days, and it isn't that expensive, but that's just kind of an interesting SBC there. Also, yesterday, we had the 1 of 3 83 plus player pick return, which we do love, and we had the 100 players upgrade pack. You see this pack and you think, oh my gosh, that's crazy, right? Because that's 100 players. Guys, every single 100 players pack that I've opened in the history of Ultimate Team has been a stinker. I know it's 83, 83, 84. You do need 2 Team of the Weeks, Festival of Footballs, or Team of the Seasons, and we'll take, a look at the Festival of Football inclusion in the squad requirements here in a second because that is a dub. But, this is one that I just might skip. Unless you need a lot of gold rares and you've already done all your provisions and stuff, then I don't think this is super necessary. Or if you have a bunch of 83s and 4s from doing player picks and stuff like that, then you can do it. I just don't necessarily love it. Now, we do have the 84x10 that refreshed, of course, 3 times a day. And like that last SBC, this one also allows Festival Football players to be turned in. So this is a huge dub that EA changed this around, not just having Team of the Weeks or Team of the Season being required in these SBCs. The player SBC yesterday, I believe, Pedro Neto is the same way. Yeah, it's any Team of the Week, Team of the Season, or Festival Football. So that is huge, right? Because Team of the Week cards were getting ridiculously expensive. Team of the Season cards were over 40,000 coins, and they haven't dropped a whole lot, or at least the last time I checked, they haven't, because there's still SBCs out there that require only these cards, but they have dipped a bit. You're 37,000 coins for Team of the Seasons, and on the flip side of things, Festival Football cards have actually come up off of minimum price to be about 13K. If you can get these, especially Team 1, if you can get Team 1 Festival Football players on bid for 11,000 coins now, maybe even 12K, I feel like that is a very, very low risk investment. These cards might all be 15 to 17,000 coins in a couple of days because people are going to be doing SBCs. Sure, we have a lot of these in our club, and there's still PTGs that are in packs with team number 2. But, I mean, I could see those rising up a little bit because they are the cheapest way to complete those SBCs right now, and they're higher rated. Like, all these are 91 rated or above, and those cards are, again, 13,000 coins right now. So if you pick them up at like 11K or 12K a bit, I feel like that's a very easy, lazy listing method that you can make some coins on in the next couple of days through the weekend, kind of stuff like that. Now, last thing to mention on fodder, if you bought fodder like on bid, GG's, it's not moving as much, like yesterday, 89s were up as high as 4.6. Then they went down to about 3.9 after content. They're still right at 4K. If you get these on bid in the 3K range, I mean, still, we're seeing less tradable supply hit the market from Weekend League rewards and Rivals rewards than we used to. So I do think those can just trickle up in price, but we will have to see. EA is still dropping lightning rounds almost every other hour, I would say, in the store. Let's see, what do we have right now? Because the global limits, aka lightning rounds, have all been tradable packs. Yeah, they're still doing the 550Ks, and I know there's probably not a ton of people opening those, but that does supply not only fodder, but this Team 2 of PTG on the market as well. Let's take a look at Team 2 of Path to Glory. It's not terrible, but it's also not amazing, right? Some of the prices in here, though, do seem pretty cheap to me. Emi Martinez, live card for Argentina, only 138,000 coins right there. Laporte, this is a card that was a bit surprising to me. Live card for Spain, one of the favorites, top 2 favorites for winning this tournament. Only 200,000 coins, right? Way cheaper than Araujo. Not as good as Araujo, for sure, but way cheaper. Konza's only 145,000 coins. So I think that's a decent value right there for some of those cards. I even think that Shalhanoglu, who was extinct at 800K and got a price range update, is a little undervalued. I mean, compare this card to Frankie de Jong. I know it's Turkey instead of the Netherlands, but Frankie de Jong is 3 mil. This card's a mil, 900K right now. That's a very, very good Shalhanoglu card. You could argue he's better than de Jong, but does he have the chance to upgrade like de Jong has? So overall, like, it's a decent team. It's not super crazy. There's players in here that I would love to pack. There's players that I would be, ecstatic to pack, but there's also no Vinny-esque card. I mean, I know Bellingham is 6 mil, but I think Vinny is clear of Bellingham. Like, Bellingham looks crazy, don't get me wrong, but I think Vinny was better. I think, the other cards that we had in Team 1 were a bit clear of this team as well. Now, speaking of these live cards, of course, we have games going on right now. We had the 1-1 draw between Canada and Bosnia yesterday, so no upgrades for any of the Canadian cards. I do want to look at Alphonso Davies for that and just kind of mention, I think draws will, make cards drop a little bit in price. This Alphonso Davies went up a little bit yesterday, of course, after the drop into content that we had on Friday. But after the game was over, he did have a bit of a drop, but he's also kind of rebounding back at the same time. I think the draws are not going to impact the cards too much. Like, the upgrades that they're playing for right now in this first game is not that crazy. Like Edson Alvarez and striker Jimenez, and then the other Korean cards got their upgrades for the PTGs, but like, they're kind of fodder cards. They're moving mostly because they're fodder and going out of packs. Nothing crazy, but it is nice to see that the upgrades are coming in at least a day afterwards. So, of course, I'm wearing the USA kit right now. I'm recording this before the USA game later tonight. I don't know the outcome of that one yet, but you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say sell it in the hype. Like, I've got Pulisic on my transfer list. He's right now about 250,000 coins rising into the game. Selling it into the hype is the play. Now, if USA win, he's probably going to bump up in price. If he goes crazy in the game himself, he's probably going to go up a little bit more. But if the other side happens, or if it's a draw, then there's probably going to be a drop. And you guys know, like, there's so much hype and anticipation built up into these games. Selling in the hype is always a good opportunity to just take some safe coins, and you might even have an opportunity to invest again later. Now, if you want to invest in Team 2, I would wait. I think the prices are still going to drop. We learned from this last week. We're going to have to see how the store packs look, and of course, once these games get started, how the prices start moving. These may move a little better than Team 1 because there's going to be games happening this week, but I think we want to wait still on some of these cards because I think they can come down a little bit more over the weekend. And then also on these PTGs, one thing to mention, use the tracker, right? Tracker, Path to Glory, you can sort by recently upgraded, and you can see all the recently upgraded cards like Jimenez, Edson Alvarez, and Jens Kastrup were all upgraded. I think that the new live card, Lee Kang-in from South Korea, came out with his 99 upgrade already on the card. So that is that. I'm bouncing all over the place talking about these PTGs. Last thing I want to mention, these cards, PTG team number 1, did rise really well after content. They did. Like, people saw the content, like, wow, PTG team 2, kind of mid. Even with the center back Evo, take a look at Araujo, right? Up huge from 600,000 coins to almost 700K there. These cards are still good to hold. I'm still holding on to them. Do I still feel a little bit skeptical? Yes. But after seeing some of the price rises, like, take a look at Marmouche. Marmouche is about to be 500,000 coins, bro. And they've got a decently tough first game in a group that people think that they might not even get out of. And that card is moving up pretty nice. James Rodriguez is another one. He's 360,000 coins right now, besides that undercut there. And he was under 300K to start the day yesterday. So it is noticeable that Team 1 is moving. This is what we were waiting for. And as of right now, I would just be holding these. It would take some pretty big content and, like, honestly, something that would make people panic big time for these cards to really drop off a ton in value. It would be investors selling, like we've been talking about, that would make these move downward. So it seems pretty safe for right now. Now, last thing about the market. These team of the season cards are great to trade with. I'm going to mention them like every single day, man, because Bruno Fernandes, 1.6 mil. That's up like 200,000 coins. Who else? Joao Felix was 450 yesterday. He's 618 right now. Fluctuation trading right now, which is just watching the market and the graphs going up and down, is still incredible. So get on the market, get on these rare cards, and get on team of the season cards of all budgets because they are making people a ton of coins. Now, that is a lot of discussion about yesterday's content. We have got to turn the page and talk about today on Saturday because, guys, there's a pack in the code that may shake up the market a little bit, but also I think just everybody's going to open it, and that's why I think it might shake up the market. Maybe not like a market crash, but just shake it up a little bit, right? Because this pack code was added a couple of days ago, and it's not out just yet in game. Makes me think it's going to be today on Saturday, tomorrow on Sunday. Sometime in the next 2 days on the weekend, we're looking for this historical birthday cosmetic Evo pack. You're like, hold on a second. Historic birthday? What are you talking about? Well, this is a build your own foot birthday evolution consumable. Remember earlier on in the year where we had the build your own foot birthday? It was 100,000 coins or something in Evos. You would turn your card into a foot birthday, and then you were able to customize the playstyles and playstyle pluses on them. That is this exact same thing, but this is a max 92 foot birthday evolution. And 92 rated cards have not been fitting into very many Evos. Now, there are a few, but since that rating overall is so high, I think this is going to be a pack that just about everybody is going to want to open because you get to customize the card. I mean, consider this, right? You've got some players like this 92 Mbappe that people really have not been able to Evo. And you have the customizability with Evo Undo where you could buy this Mbappe for 2 mil. You could Evo this Mbappe and then use him for a couple of weeks. Let's say this card is still expensive because people are buying him and putting into evolutions. He's not getting supplied anymore via the store. This is not a card like Foot Birthdays that dropped that much when Evo Undo came out because he's been 92 rated. You couldn't really undo Evos in this card. He hasn't been able to be upgraded. But this card is going to fit Evos, and you could customize them. Like Finesse plus Mbappe, you could put Rapid and Low Driven on him. Or this Rapid Mbappe, you could put Finesse and Low Driven on him. And then you've got an Mbappe that rivals the team of the year or the team of the season and could fit stat boosting Evos as well as a 92 rated card, since we have a few of those out now and more of them probably coming in the future. I think that there could be cards like this that move up in price. I just think that with the overall of that max 92 being so high, that's going to make a lot of people go and buy this pack, which could drain some coins off the market and also is going to just bring a lot of hype to the Playstyles Lab, and it might replace some cards that you have in your team. Like, that would be the whole point, taking a 92 rated card into one of these Evos and giving them a different playstyle plus. Now, of course, we've already had some of these 92s that have been released by EA, but like it's the choice, right? It's the ability to choose your 92 rated card to put into this that is going to make this a really, really big deal. Also, again, like I mentioned with Evo Undo, let's say you've Evo'd somebody up to a 93 or a 94 and they don't fit this new evolution that's going to be coming out, but you want to customize playstyle pluses on them. Or for some reason, like a 94 rated card that you have, just you put it into an Evo and you regret it or something like that, right? Well, you might be able to undo the Evos off of that card, then put them into Build Your Own for Birthday, and then boost them up in a different way. Like this Hazard, right? Like I know I put him into, I think it was like the Evo left mid one that gave the huge boost to shooting like a couple of weeks back. I could undo the Evo there, put him into this, and then customize his playstyle pluses if I didn't like his playstyle pluses. Or like Bobby Charlton, for example, I can't take off Power Shot Plus, but I could take off the Finesse if I wanted to adjust that. Like there's just going to be options for days. There's going to be so many options with an Evo like this where you have Evo undo and you have the ability to add the Foot Birthday design to it and customize your own card. Now, this is a store pack, and that is the thing I do want to mention. It's going to be in the store. It's probably going to be a couple 100,000 coins because there's also an icon pick inside of it. EA is going to make a lot of money from this, man. I would not recommend opening it with FC points. You guys know we're never going to recommend that because it's just not the best way to play this game, but it's going to be something that does happen. So again, it is in the store, but I think the fact that it is a fully customizable 92 Foot Birthday Evo, that is going to make a lot of people want to go ahead and do this. So, I mean, even think one more example. This is the last one. You got a 92 Eusebio who hasn't had a new card in ages, but like you want to use Eusebio. You're going to be able to put Eusebio into this and give him playstyles and playstyle pluses that you haven't been able to really make this card meta with through evolutions up until now. So like that's the cool option with this Evo. I think a lot of people are going to do it. Let me know in the comments if you're like, Nate, you're tripping, or yeah, for the right price, I would get that store pack and I would do that Evo. I think the right price is maybe going to be 100, 150K. Max 92 though, I don't know. I think EA is going to price it somewhere where it's not super expensive that it seems ridiculous. I don't think it'll be like 300 or 400K, but like somewhere where it's believable. And it's probably going to be like whatever the total coin amount is, the FC point value is going to be way cheaper than that. So that's my prediction. I would guess today or tomorrow for that pack to come out. Now, let's talk about the rest of content coming today, potentially this weekend as well. We've got Putellas and Mac. Now, ASY Foot Trader just retweeted this a couple hours ago, making me think that's going to be our player SBC for today. Again, that's the official card. A lot of people have been saving their fodder for this. It's so nice that it's going to be Team of the Week, Team of the Season, or Festival of Football cards that will be allowed to put into this. But I have to imagine we're looking at a 20 squad SBC here. Gotta imagine it's around that number because we saw Salah with 4 playstyle pluses at 36 squads. This one is not going to be cheap either, and with SBCs becoming cheaper, with Team of the Seasons not being required for a 90 rated squad at 40 or 37,000 coins, and 92s and 91 rated Festival Football PTGs going into those SBCs now at 12K, it might even be more squads than that. So maybe this is 25 squads, but that is going to be a very, very meta card and a card that a lot of people want to do. I would say, if you're going to do Putellas, just kind of keep an eye on the rest of the SBCs that are coming out this week. We've had Pedro Neto, cross that off the list. Putellas, Mac Allister. Those are definitely the top 2 that are incoming. There's some other ones in here like Wan-Bissaka that look decent. You know, that's probably about it. A couple of showdowns for games that are incoming as well. These could be coming out very soon. So that could be a part of today's content, but it's really the Putellas and the Mac Allister that are going to make up SBC hype for the next couple of days. Now, speaking of World Cup cards, and cards that you can customize with playstyle pluses, star performers are something that I really wanted to talk about in yesterday's video, but here we are able to talk about them today. EA are going to be releasing star performers for the World Cup. Now, if you remember, star performers are the Fanta cards that we had released after Champions League weeks and players performing really well in Champions League, right? Fede Valverde has like 3 of these or 2 of them because he had so many great Champions League nights until the end for Madrid. But these cards are going to be like that. They give one playstyle plus or playstyle depending on their World Cup performance, and then you get to customize the rest of the card in the EVO lab. Now, there hasn't been any leaks as of me recording right now who's going to be released. They're projecting Jimenez or Quinones from that first game for Mexico, or even when these are going to be released. If it's going to be like the star performers that we had before, it might be like a set of players in packs, like maybe a squad of 5 to 10 of them after a few games are played. EA pick a batch of players as kind of the man of the matches from those players, put them out into packs, and then let us customize them, or they could be SBCs as well. Who knows? This is honestly unknown at the moment. That's the card design right there. Not the best card design in the world, if we're being completely honest, but they will be customizable, and it does kind of bring the connection of the World Cup games straight to us. Like, you watch Quinones score that first goal of the World Cup with that low-driven plus between the keeper's legs, right? And you're like, dang, I want to use him. And his TOTS card went up big on the market. Well, now you're going to have a chance to use a Quinones potentially. How easy it is to get him, we don't know. And then you can use that card and customize it yourself, right? Low-driven plus would make sense for him. So that's one thing that I think could be a part of content today, but we don't know a whole lot about it. And the last thing SBC-wise is I think we're getting some more SBC content today. A new TOTS upgrade pack, the 91 plus eFigs eFugs is going to expire. I bet we get a refresh of that or something new today. And also the 85 by 10 summer tournament pack that came out last week on Saturday is expiring. So hopefully it comes back today. Will it be the same requirements of 84 and 85 rated squads? Will EA change it up? Will EA allow us to do it more than 5 times in the week? Very curious to know the answer to that, but that is what we're watching out for today's content on Saturday. And the very last thing, this is a yap session. See, no video yesterday. I feel like I had to yap. Anyways, Greats of the Game, which is the full icon and hero promo that will be following up Festival Football Path to Glory, has already been teased by Foot Police, and he's saying bombazo emojis. This is 45 minutes after the content drop yesterday on a Friday. He's saying Great to the Game is looking fire. I don't know all the red card rewards for that promo, but the entire promo looks insane. Maybe time to save some champs tokens, he says. Saving champs tokens. Interesting. So I just wanted to kind of mention this because he's already set the precedent that something crazy is incoming with the next week's promo, and that means probably leaks are going to be coming in the early stage of the week. If he's already teasing it there, I don't know. We already know that the Great to the Game promo is not a live promo like it was in the past because we already have seen and heard about the Eto card, that it is not live because it's going to be a gauntlet reward. And of course, Eto and his nation are not in the World Cup. So that kind of already confirms that one there. But we still have a lot of questions on what that is going to look like. So we're going to keep our eyes peeled for more leaks related to Greats of the Game. But that's a long video. And if you guys missed yesterday's stream at all, it started off very exciting, but did not end exciting for us trying to pack the one Captain America card we were trying to get. There still is hope. That is through the Path to Glory SBC that we have that refreshes every couple of days. It is Team 1 specific. So I have a few more chances to pack him. Still got to get him. And then hopefully the USA boys tonight will cook up. But you guys will be seeing this tomorrow or Saturday, today. So you'll know the score. So you're either making fun of me right now or you're like, yeah, GG's, they won. Anyways, that's the video for me today, guys. Watch out for a little more content coming today on Saturday on the other social channels with all the World Cup games. I'll be watching and getting involved. Love you guys, man. Thanks for supporting, and I will see you in a video tomorrow. It's been Nate, TheFutAccountant. See you there. Peace out.